Okay, so we're going to try the blood typing lab. So you should have read through the directions at the top of this paper. The first thing that we need to do is we need to fill in this chart. This is going to be similar to the activity you did on Thursday's homework. Most of you got the idea about the blood typing, but we're going to just go over this right now just to be sure. So if there's clumping, and you'll see what clumping is once we get started on this, then that would mean it's a positive. So you would put a plus sign for clumping. And so in A blood, there is going to be clumping. So it would be a positive, but there isn't going to be with the B serum. So that would make it negative. All right. Now B is going to be just the opposite. It's going to be negative on the A line and positive for the B serum. So think about what you think AB is going to be. Right, it has to be positive for both serums, and then for O, it has to be negative for both serums. Okay, so this is what you're going to use when you're figuring out your suspects and your crime scene and all that below. And then for the RH, if there's clumping, it equals RH positive, and if there's no clumping, it would be RH negative. All right? All right, so we're actually going to start with the victim here, who is Ernest One-Eyed Earl. And so I have the blood sample for Earl here. Ernest, I mean, and I'm going to add the blood sample for Ernest to each of the containers for my testing. I'm going to add about 10 or 15 drops here. All right, so I've got my blood added for my victim here. And so what I have is a little test kit for each of them. And I have the serums here. I have the A, the B, and then this one where the label wore off is the RH. Okay, so we are going to try the anti-A. Okay, so we're going to add that to the A. We just need to add maybe about 3 drops of the serum. Okay, and then we're going to add the B to that one, and then we're going to add the RH to the third one. Okay, and so at that point, what I want to do is then I'm going to take 3 different toothpicks because I don't want to cross-contaminate here, and I'm just going to stir them up a little bit. Okay, stirring up A, stirring up B, and stirring up the RH. All right, so if we zoom down in really close here, I'm trying to get you to be able to see the reaction here. If you can see the difference, so you notice how the A and the B look pretty clear, but the RH has got like little spots in it. I know it's hard to see in the video. There we go. Now you can see that light a little better. So what those little spots basically are is that's the clumping happening. All right. Some of them are going to be even more. And let me add just a couple more drops of the serum and see if it makes it a little, there you go. See, now you can see it. You can even see it a little bit better there. Do you see how it doesn't mix in with it? That's what we're talking about with the clumping. All right, so I need to add a few more than just 3 drops. So for the victim on the chart, I'm going to write negative for A, okay, negative for B because there was no clumping, but plus for the RH. All right, so we're going to do this one together, but then the other 5 you're going to do on your own. So for this one, you're going to decide, you're going to go back to the chart up at the top and you're going to say, if I've got 2 negatives for A and B, what kind of blood type is that? That's going to be O. All right, so One-Eyed Earl is going to be O, and he's going to be O positive because the RH came out positive. Okay? All right, so now I'm going to add the blood sample that I found at the scene of the crime here. All right, excellent. And I'm going to use my my serums from the scene of the crime. So again, I'm going to add the A. I'm going to add about 6 drops. I'm going to add the B. 6 drops. And I'm going to add the RH. All right. Okay, zoom in a little bit. I'm going to get my toothpick here. I'm going to just stir them up. I think I can already guess what's happening here, but you want to make sure. All right, so what do you notice? What are you seeing there? I'm seeing clumping on A and RH. And notice the difference, how A and RH kind of have that foggy, lumpy looking, where B looks super smooth. All right, so on the chart, for the crime scene sample, we're going to do a plus for A, a minus for B. And remember, the plus means there was clumping, the minus means there was not, and a plus for RH. All right, and so then you'll have to figure out what the blood type is for that one all on your own. Okay? All right, so now I want to add the blood sample for the weapon. We only need a small blood sample here. Okay? And I'm going to add the serums for the weapon. So I'm going to start with A. Add about 6 drops to A. Then I'm going to add B. And then I'm going to add RH. All right, so I'm going to stir them up a little bit with my toothpicks, but can you kind of guess what's happening here just by looking? Stir up the A, stir up the B. All right, when we zoom in, what are you noticing here? We're noticing that there's no clumping for A or for B, but there is for RH. All right, so we're going to leave that one as a positive. All right, so I'm going to pause this for a second while I rinse out my container. I forgot my second mixing container at school, so I have to I'll have to make a second video in 1 second. All right, pause.